to the 379,999 students from the eastern part of Nigeria alone. That's very easy. Like, go and tell them that they are stupid people. Go and say it to them. They can't even differentiate what you are saying. So go on and say that to them. Because that's the way I see it. But you know, to make the matter worse, remember that time that the first controversy that happened was on the day of this supposed UTME JAMB test, right? When the children were posted to far centers. I'm talking about centers that are far away from their homes. Some of them had to travel. Some of them had accidents on their way to or from the center of the examination. The examination was to start at 8, but they made the students arrive, and their parents arrive at 6, but they miss out. Do you know something? The same JAMB has now rescheduled for these children, for something that is not fault of theirs at all. JAMB has rescheduled it, so they're going to do it tomorrow. By tomorrow morning, you are going to start seeing videos of children, and I'm talking about from the eastern part of Nigeria and a part of Lagos. Very convenient. Deliberately. He said they've never suffered anything like that before. Of course, like somebody had to kind of like intentionally compromise it. And the easy way is, oh, it's not our staff. It's just somebody from somewhere that got access to our data. He conveniently said that that's their spokesperson. Your children's data. Right. Anyway, talking about data, it has now been announced by Tinubu's essay that they want to tackle the insecurity in Nigeria from the grassroots. So Tinubu and his gang, they are now proposing to launch what they call the Forest Rangers. Is it Forest Rangers? Yeah, Forest Rangers, they are called. So Kolu says he's going to establish a heavily armed, I think that's the word. Hang on, I'm going to go look for the, for what do you call it? For the click, give me a sec. Yeah, so they said they are going to employ 130,000 well-armed forest rangers to protect, to defend their communities and protect the forests. They said they have 1,276 forests that needed to be protected. And each state would have the capacity to employ or recruit between 2,000 and 5,000 rangers. Hang on, it's not rangers, they call them forest guards, rather. It's called forest guards. There's not much details released, but from what I sort of like, caught from this guy, right? It was like, they said the recruitment and the training will be supervised by the Office of Ribadom. I said security agencies or traditional rulers and community leaders will be involved in the processes. Right? What's that more? Okay. Each state to recruit between 2,000 and 5,000 heavily. That's the word I've been looking for. Heavily armed and well-trained forest guards, depending on its financial capacity. Remember, they are talking about state police as well, right? So heavily armed indeed also includes them being given automatic rifles. But I kind of like that, but I'm also very skeptical. Listen, you can call me, doubting Thomas, coming Thomas. We are talking about APC. I mean, this one sounds good if they have the political will to do it. You know what I mean, right? It simply means that each state depends on their financial capacity. Each state can recruit at least 2,000 heavily armed. You see, that's the one I want to, heavily armed. Amotekun is not, the Amotekun, right? They are not allowed to carry automatic rifles. So now, for us, for example, for us in Yoruba land, where we have Amotekun, so I don't think any Yoruba governor currently have any excuse not to go to the market and buy any sophisticated weapon they can lay their hands on right now. And I mean, they don't need to recruit any new one anymore. Sure, you get. In eastern part of Nigeria, Maazi Nnamdi Kanu already reached it all when he assembled over 10,000. Imagine that. Over, man, that guy is so smart. Come to think of it, right? There are currently 5 states in the eastern part of Nigeria. So, in the year 2022, was that when we did the ESN? I can't remember now, but 2021, rather, when Maazi Nnamdi Kanu launched ESN, he actually started with 10,000 young men and women trained under the radar of this supposed Nigerian, under Boko Haram. As much as they feel like they have all the power, he trained them. Overall, how he managed to pull over 10,000 young people together in the eastern part of Nigeria, trained them, and then kind of like distributed them to the 5 states of eastern part of Nigeria. But you know what happened, right? While Nnamdi Kanu with that creativity brought that to life, the foresight. Do you know what the Igbo governors did? The Igbo governors called themselves the Igbo governors led by Devulumayi. That one Obaino, Ekweazu, the other one from Enugu, Buruburu. It's got a name though, I can't remember anyway, right? As well as Oples, Uzodingba. At the time, they all came together and decided to set up what they called Ebubeagu. Ebube Lizard. While the ESN was going after the Fulani terrorists in the forest. Okay. I mean, one of the mistakes I think they made at the time was kind of like making the videos of that because it was so effective that it provoked Bokwari. They called all these Igbo governors to do something about it. And what did they do? They set up Ebubeagu. Ebubeagu was not to go after Fulani terrorists. Ebubeagu was to go after ESN forest rangers. I'm talking about Igbo security outfit funded by the supposed Igbo governors from the 5 Igbo states. They sent these recruits after the ESN simply because they were going after the Fulani terrorists. And they were using their media to say, oh, it is this ESN in the forest that is, that are kidnapping people. Nnamdi Kanu, the ESN, they are kidnapping people because they just need to destroy them for daring to go after these terrorists. So if Tinubu is serious right now, the ideal thing right now, number one is, he would have to free Maazi Nnamdi Kanu, like release him unconditionally at this point right now, because I don't know what else he needs to kind of prove to you that everything they are crucifying him for, persecuting him for, and most of all those things have either happened or even some of these guys have indirectly agreed with him. Because now they want to hire 130,000, right? To go after the supposed terrorists that have occupied the Nigerian forest. She says, that sounds good, right? Release Nnamdi Kanu. And you don't need to worry yourself. The structure is already on ground. Just direct these resources, empower these ones who are already doing it. And maybe in a month, you probably would never believe the result, because not only that would they have sweep off these terrorists to the far distance, and since they are not going to be doing it alone anymore, right? It means once they chase them out of Biafra land, if they chase them enter Yoruba land, we have our own heavily armed Amotekun that will confront them. So by the time you fire those ones, you go fire, and others will try to escape. As they are escaping to Kwara, those in Kwara in the North Central, Plateau States, Benue, Taraba, you will be all those places, right? They too, they will bring out their own Amotekun. Heavily armed fighters. Before you know it, within 6 months, people will be back on their farms, and the terrorists will be gone if Tinubu means it. But there is no clearly explained pathway. It's just an announcement, just the same way they announced local government autonomy. Here is what somebody has to say about that.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. In the first place, that the intention is very good. It's all an attempt to solve a problem-solving approach to issues. Section 14B provides that the primary purpose of government is security and welfare of the people. The government is very, very concerned, at least Mr. President is showing concern about our security of this country, particularly our forests, because if our forests are not safe, our farmers cannot go to work, cannot go to farm, and of course, issue of food security will be a challenge. But then the question is, like I said, it's very good intended, very good idea, and timely too. But the point is that my worry is that these are going to be recruited in all the states of the federation, and when are they going to be trained collectively? Are they going to train by individual state? And who are they going to be provided with the equipped and the training, given them the necessary capacity? Because already we have the armed forces, we have the police, we have no security agencies. Who is going to regulate them? Are they under a particular agency that will regulate them? Is it the police or the military or the civil defense? Who regulate them? Regulate this forest guard. Because they need to be regulated, they need to be controlled, they need to be trained and given rules of engagement. And again, will they be given the capacity that will be able to cope effectively with the bandit? The bandits are well armed. They're well armed. They're not just, it's not a child's play. And these are young men who are going to be recruited, being trained, and given the capacity. But then the question is like I said earlier, it is a very good intention, very good idea to ensure that our forests are safe. But the question asked again is that the NSA will coordinate with the Ministry of Environment. Are they going to do the training, or the police are going to do training, or the military going to do training and distribute to the state? These are areas that the details need to be made known, because otherwise it will be a challenge. Because if these young men are not well trained and equipped, and are given the capacity to be able to ensure that they are armed, they can actually face a bandit squarely, effectively, it might also be a problem, because the arms, if they become so vulnerable, they are being attacked by bandits, and they are young men who have just been recruited, no experience, they might have a little gunshot, they may be scared, and the bandits may even seize their arms and get them captured. So the point is that we need to be ensured that we have an effective, well-formidable squad or team that will do this job, and that we have to make sure that they are well trained and given the capacity. And if I think the military could have been, or the military or the police could have been expanded and employ more soldiers, giving them more equipment who are already used to military operations, but these young men who are just coming, being recruited and trained, I'm sure the training, how long will it take to be trained? Is it 6 months, 3 months, or 1 year to be able to face the bandits? Bandits are ready to give their life. And the young men, I think it's a good idea, like I said, but it's well intended. But how the implementation is the question I want that to be addressed. How are they going to be trained? Who is going to regulate them? Would they have more capacity than the military that have been there on ground, or the police who are?
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and the other thing. Take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps, we create our food. Abi, that's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor in the farm.
70 years old man.
Call you. So, leaving that aside though, right? If the writing is to be done, like genuinely, because all of this, they are signs of a failed country to start with, you know. But the idea of a forest guard, right, it's also not a bad idea, like that person put it. But we all know why they are doing this forest guard or no forest guard, right? And then the idea of training them, this and that is, come on. What happened to your Nigerian army? It's been over 10 years now that the terrorists have taken over Sambisa Forest. At the point, they said they had ground zero. Buratai the Butcher once bragged that they've taken over Sambisa, but it was part of their stunt at the time. It didn't last. But come on, in this 2025, you want to recruit those who are going to send into the meat grinder, or the terrorists who are so brutal enough that with the technology and what have you today, the terrorists themselves already have drones now. But they have drones, oh, you don't even need to get closer to them before they nuke you. So they will recruit people, while those ones that they are supposed to have trained, I'm talking about their own soldiers, their military, Air Force, all of that, right? Underfunded. And somebody said they should get equipment for them. Baba, they are exchanging Nigeria equipment with a terrorist. Terrorists will attack a military base, shoot at the soldiers. They will run away, some will die. Then they will take away the weapons. Then they will burn down the entire barrack. And they repeat this same procedure. It's not new. We've seen it several times. So the whole thing is deliberate. The corruption to compromise and sabotage the effort is deliberate. There's no amount of, because even in fact, you see, it's about people behind it, though, right? You can't trust them. They cannot be trusted. If they tell you something, right, all you have to do is just to question it, and then you will see through it so glaringly. Like, it is so easy. Like, they will tell you things that sometimes you'll be like, man, this one is too good to be true. Because it is. We're talking about APC, okay, but they cannot be trusted, even if you want to try. But look at that good idea. It's a brilliant idea. The same problem that currently, the military in Nigeria, or the soldiers in Nigeria, what they are facing right now, is the same that the vigilantes on our forest guard, heavily armed. That word heavily armed, right? If we are not in reality, sounds so good to say, yeah, give us weapons to defend ourselves. Or everybody, let go, defend ourselves. Or they should send people into the forest after them, right? Special forces. But Nigeria hired, I think they were like a 30 or so mercenaries against the almighty Boko Haram. Mercenaries. So Nigeria, almighty Nigerian army, right? Where they have become so compromised at the time. But look at it. Less than 30 mercenaries from South Africa at the time, right? But they decimated Boko Haram so much that when Boko Haram came in, 24 hours after Boko Haram came to power in 2015, they sent all of them away. They cancelled all of the wherever their government immunity cover and everything, and they give them 24 hours to leave Nigeria, or they will be arrested and paraded as a terrorist sponsor. That was how those guys left. And then Boko Haram regrouped. The rest is history today. Now, Boko Haram have drones. This swap have drones. They said drones from Ukraine-Russia war, dirty drones, right? Kamikaze drones. Do you even understand what I mean, right? So if Tinubu has the political will, this will sound, this is a brilliant idea, and it can actually help to